Hit it again. Hit it again.
Hello.
Hit it again.
Welcome
Hey.
back to Feral Ladies. We had a small intermission. It's fine.
We're doing great.
We're doing great. We are currently, as hopefully you saw in the intro screen, it's a mystery to us upon this recording. We are currently in winter goblin mode or goblin winter mode. Let us know in the chat which you prefer because it's going to last for at least 3 more months. So. Here we are. Ladies, I would assume people coming to Feral Ladies know who we are, but do you want to do quick introductions of yourselves?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Kacey, go for it.
Oh, okay. Hi. This is the Goblin version of Kacey Ezell. I am a writer of science fiction and fantasy. Actually, hang on. Let me do this right. I write emotionally charged adventure, fantasy, and science fiction. Yeah, that's my new tagline. I'm very proud of it, as you can see. But yeah, I write some books. I homeschool a kid. I used to fly helicopters. Now I just think about flying them. And I hang out with these broads. These goblins, wherever they are on my screen. Yeah. There's another word I wanted to use, but we're only a minute and 26 in. So
we gotta wait.
Right.
Yeah.
Check back with me in approximately 8.5 minutes.
The countdown has begun.
That's right. So, hi, I'm Kacey. Good to see you again. All right.
Melissa. Mid-cackle.
I am the goblin version of Marisa Wolf. I write sci-fi and fantasy. I have bypassed sneaking and romance, and I just throw it in there because I write what I love to read. So
that's what he said.
I don't
dream
about right. I don't dream about flying helicopters. I dream about flying dragons.
Same.
I mean, girl, same.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And there's lots of cackling, so you know what y'all are in for.
Yeah.
And if not, you do now in exactly 2 minutes and 17 seconds. I am Marisa Wolf. I write science fiction and fantasy that ends with hope, no matter how hopeless it might get in the middle and the end and the beginning. But in the end, there is hope.
That's a good tagline too, man.
I like.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's what I've decided. And I really like to hang out with my cool friends. So Feral Ladies is always the 3 of us. And sometimes we bring in guests because we have this ridiculously large network of incredible friends who are talented and wonderful and amazing. But today it's us. You're welcome because we've been gone for 5 months. And we're going to tell you a little bit about why we've been gone for 5 months and what we've been up to. And then also we're probably going to descend into chaos. I would tell you this is the goblin version of Marisa, but there is only the goblin version of Marisa. So there is no Dana, only Zool. Only Zool. And so so that's what we're going to talk about. Seasons, not necessarily the winter version, but synergy. It is winter, and even for Melissa, who is in the South. She got a snow day tomorrow, y'all.
Yeah, she's like mad because our weather, our New England weather, showed up drunk on her lawn. She's like, Kacey, come get your friend.
We're like, no thanks.
Nah, we're good. You're good. You'll be all right.
It'll be 60 degrees for her again soon.
Yeah. Snow day, Memphis, Tennessee. It's wild.
Yeah, my kids have no school tomorrow. I'm like, but I just put them back in school, and now they're
that's the part that hurts. That I hurt for you, my heart.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so partly we're talking about seasons. I will say so. We had a very adventurous Q4, the 3 of us, for various reasons and in various permutations of that word. And as we talked with some of our friends, like some of our fellow authors have said multiple times, like, oh, well, I don't put up numbers like you, or, oh, I don't, turn out as much as you. And like, that's not a thing. Like, that's not what we're doing here. So part of today is to talk about that whole, like, we don't have to compare ourselves to where other people are because we're all in different seasons of what we're doing. And to really celebrate whatever season you're in at the time and how it might look and how it might change. And so we are going to celebrate some cool cool stuff. I caught that.
Yeah,
That
you
we
did.
did. Thank you. I'm pretty sure I am the one who has broken the swear barrier every time. So I'm trying really hard to not do that. We did some cool stuff the end of last year, 2024. And we get to celebrate that. And we get to talk about what happens after that. Because what you don't do is cool stuff 100% of the time. So-
Yeah. I mean, you can do cool stuff, but it's the surge, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-mm.
the surge. That was a term that I learned when I was on active duty. And it was like, okay, these world events have dictated that we're going to all have to work really hard and do more with less for a finite period of time. And so this is a surge. We're going to put everything that we have toward it. And theoretically, it is a finite. Yeah, it will stop, right? Once you accomplish the mission, then you're good. And you can go back to kind of your normal sustainable operations pace. Whether or not we actually did that is a longer conversation and not really the focus of this video, this channel. But in theory, that's how it works, right? And so, when we start talking about the things that we did last quarter, I realized, like, it's not like the three of us sat down and said, oh, okay, we're going to surge. But for one reason or another, I realized that all three of us ended up at the end of 2024 in surge operations, right?
100%.
So Marisa, right around September. So that was end of Q3, right? Right around September, I went to Marisa and we had plans. We had plans to write another novel in my Ashes of Anticia series. And I see what had happened was I got an invite. I got an invite to be a featured guest at MarsCon, which is happening in January. Thank you very much, in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And their theme was space opera. And Marisa and we had plans to write a book for another novel in the space opera. And I was, I was thinking about this. I was like, wow, as a featured guest, it would be really cool if I had a new release, just to kind of celebrate that and sell that and all that kind of stuff. So I went to our publisher, Chris Kennedy, and I said, hey, when would you need to have a book turned in order to have it released the second week in January? And he said, October 15th. And I was like, okay. So I went to Marisa and I was like, hey, is this unrealistic? Can we do this? To which she responded,
Rage.
Let's go.
I did.
Yes. Boom. Yes. Is what she said, because it's still 8 minutes in it. But she was like, yeah, hell yeah, we can do that. Oh, well, there it goes. But
I think H is okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But yeah, so she was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's rage. And so we jumped in with both feet and we wrote this novel that's actually, as of the day we're recording this, coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully Jeremy can put the cover up for us.
I have it. If you want to share the screen, I have it pulled up. So
okay. I also made a note for Jeremy because he loves he loves when we do that.
We love producer Jeremy. He's great. We'll let him do that. But yeah, so it's super cool cover. Slight digression, but oh my gosh, it's so pretty. But yes, and we did that. We did it in like 5 weeks or something.
Yeah,
it was ridiculously fast. Ridiculously fast.
Amazing. It was the coolest thing ever to be behind the scenes watching this, because they were doing this awesome fanfic legacy tag teaming thing. I'm really trying very hard.
You did great. You did so great.
I'm so proud. But it was very cool because it was like one of those, they just kept bouncing off each other and kept that energy up. And
yeah,
it was a great example of how two awesome co-authors can really rage when they're feeling it.
Yeah, there was a huge synergistic effect. I don't think that I could write a full novel in 5 weeks by myself, but because I was writing with Marisa, because we've written together so much, we know each other's brains inside and out, and it was fun. It was a rush. And that's the key, right? It was an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And so it was like push and push and push and go and go and go and go and go. And then when it was over, like I shut all the way down.
Yeah.
All the way down for a solid couple of weeks. Yeah. So anyway, that
was yeah. I was bummed to have to go back to my own brain and work on my own stories because I had so much fun. Like one of the most wonderful things to me about co-authoring is one, that like synergistic energy between you and your awesome co-author. And then the other is if you have a bad day, the story can still move forward. So there were a couple of days that I was like, Kacey, I think one day I just had a really bad headache. And one day I was just like, my brain was like, I don't know how words word. Nope. And Kacey was like, all right, well, I dropped 4K. Don't worry about it. And there were a couple of days she's like, hey, she had to run all over the state doing things. And I was like, oh, look, but I did 4K too.
Yeah.
So like, it's amazing because it's like, we always joke, you go to bed and you wake up the next morning and the elves didn't finish your book. And that's really upsetting. But in this case,
the other goblin girl did.
Yes, the goblin, you're right. The goblin moved it forward. And then that would get me right back in the next day because I'd be like, oh, it moved forward even though I tapped out. And now I can step up and help. So Kacey and I wrote a book between DragonCon and October 10th. And that was amazing. I think I also shut down for at least a full week. And then I kind of eased back in doing some outlining of like this book that had been in my head for 4 years. And I started outlining and I gave myself a pretty reasonable deadline of having a draft done by the end of 2024. So this is like November, right? And then circumstances to be revealed at a later date, perhaps, changed. And I had to get it done in 4 less weeks than I had given myself. And so to Kacey's point, I didn't think that I was like, you know what, let's try. Like the worst that can happen is I don't do it, but I can still get it in by my original deadline. Because to Kacey's point, I was like, I don't think I can write a fantasy novel in 5 weeks. But fun fact, I did. I wrote a 150,000 word fantasy novel in 5 weeks. And let's be real clear, it was a crap show at the end of that first draft. So it still needed a couple of weeks of work. And I have written approximately 100 words since then, my loves. So that was the end of my surge mode. It's big. So Melissa, do you want to share yours? And we can come back to our like follow-up seasons.
Yeah. So part of this was planned. It was planned that I was going to write Salvage Bunny 4. Yeah. That was my end of year project. And I planned to start that at November. I planned for it to be 120K. I can hear Nick Steverson laughing right now. And I planned to have it done by I'm like December 15th. That's a reasonable date for like surge ops. However, I was finishing up a co-write with Jason Cordova, which we finished like a little bit later than planned. And then I needed like a couple days before I could jump in, right? You have to switch those voices in your head because they get a little uppity. So I didn't end up starting until almost the middle of November. Hopped in with Marisa on the crazy train and went, you know what? We can do this. We can totally do this. And we ended up co-working the crap out of both of our novels. I wrote 153,000 word novel in 5 weeks. And then I too shut down. Like I finished that draft on my way up to Michigan for like Christmas holiday stuff, like on like the 21st, 22nd. And I didn't touch my laptop for a solid week. Nothing. I did nothing. And then I edited on the way home. And then I did nothing for another week. I just today, on January 9th, started writing a short story. And I'm like, 500 words. Cool. I wrote 500 words. Yay. But it was planned. That insanity was planned. Yeah. And my shutdown period was also planned because your brain can only do surge ops for so long, especially when you're talking creative stuff versus breaking yourself for the military.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Kacey, you wrote more.
Yeah. Well, I did. So we finished. I actually started while we were writing Blood of Her Father. because I got a wild hair, got this crazy ass idea based on John Stovall's Demon Card Enforcer, and was talking with John about, hey, what about a spin-off story in that universe? And what I was doing was I was writing it when Blood of Her Father, when you had Blood of Her Father. And so when I couldn't go forward with Blood of Her Father, I was moving forward with Shadow Card Guardian. And that book wrote itself very, very quickly.
Yeah.
It just, it was a little bit weird because it wasn't my normal process. I normally am a pretty dedicated plotter, and I pants the fuck out of
Hell
it.
yeah.
Right? Yeah, 15 minutes. We're good. But yeah, so it was a very different process, very different feel. And I think that was part of the reason why I was able to do both, simultaneously for a while. But so as soon as we finished Blood of Her Father, I shut down for a good solid week. And then I started working on Shadow Card Guardian again. And then we had, I worked on that for a little while, and then we had Thanksgiving, and I was trying to get it done before Thanksgiving, and I couldn't get it done. And so then I continued working on it, like up until I think I finished it around the 10th of December. Yeah. So, but like taking a week off from writing for Thanksgiving, because I had company coming and was doing a bunch of cooking, which I enjoy. I loved to. And again, had planned. Thanks. Yeah, Marisa came over. It was awesome. But like, to Melissa's point, I had planned to take that week off. So even if I didn't finish before then, like I had to take that break. And then I've finished Shadow Card Guardian, and then was prepping for the launch of it. The difference here for me on that one is that this project is entirely self-published. It is it's up on, I'm releasing it in serial on a website called Railroad. So I had to get like everything ready for that, release that on New Year's Eve. It's now going up on New Year's Eve, and I've got to start working on the sequel to it. And I am finding it quite difficult because it was surge, small break, surge, slightly longer break. And now my brain's like, I can't surge again. I can't surge again. And so I'm trying to really work out a sustainable pace so that I don't burn through my backlog of chapters to post before before I have something new to put up. So, and I'll be honest with you guys, it's been a little bit of a struggle for me. I was telling Marisa earlier, I wrote about 600 words today, and that's the most that I've written in a day since finishing Shadow Card Guardian has been about 1,000 words, which is a solid amount, but I've only done it the once, right? And it is nothing like the numbers I was putting up last quarter.
Yeah. I think my brain can't right now. Like it's still, one of my favorite things, like the surge ops makes total sense. I did not live that life. But I didn't live this life either of the meme I'm about to share, but I love it. It's basically like the Enterprise can't go warp 9 all the time. Like if you gave 100%,
your beryllium crystals will
you'll burn out, right? Like your warp core can't do it, and the bubble's gonna collapse. But it's like if you did 100% all the time, your best wouldn't be your best; it would be your average. And like, nah, like it's okay to go warp 4 sometimes, and sometimes you just go impulse. Right. And so like right now, January is impulse, and I did plan it that way. Like looking at 2025. I gave myself January and February to write a couple of short stories, to get started on some planning, to do some edits, because, a 150,000 word fantasy novel isn't perfect after 2 weeks of edits. Kind of probably need some more NBD. But so like I am holding space, as the musical Wicked told us, holding space for my brain, because every time I try to push right now, my brain's like, okay, no, we're not doing that. Good luck.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's really important, like, especially like when you're new as an author and, just getting into like these habit patterns, it's important to like realize what your brain is going to do after you have like pushed that hard for that long, and give yourself the grace to relax, because the first like 2 days my brain didn't know how to not write. Like
Yeah.
the brain was like, what are you doing? Why are you not working? What is this?
Yeah. What do I do with my hands now?
Yeah.
I'm so hungover. I'm like, ladies, I'm bored. I don't know how to be bored anymore.
How do I occupy myself? I don't know.
Yeah.
I had to give myself the week to just bring it back down, because your brain, you adapt so easy to it.
Yeah.
And your brain doesn't realize, your brain is gonna be like, well, this is normal now.
This is normal.
Brain can't do that forever. Don't let brain tell you can do that forever, because eventually brain will break.
We don't like brain breaking. No.
No.
And there is a leveling up, right? So like one of our brilliant friends, Katie Cross, she's amazing, YA Fantasy. If you have not checked her out, do yourself the favor. But she puts
Jeremy, put a link in the description.
Yeah. She puts big numbers on the regular. She has a very clear schedule that she has set herself, and she meets all the time. Like there's a reason she's so big, and it's because she tells a great story consistently, right? But she will tell you, I didn't start this way. I worked up to it. The same way you do with weightlifting, the same way you do with anything. Like you work up. And I realized when I was doing the fantasy story, because of what I had done with Kacey, because of what I had done with Valkyrie's Chosen earlier in the year, it was easier for me to get into that mindset. That doesn't mean I can do it all the time. So like for me, my goal for 2025 is to channel a little bit of early 2024 Marisa Wolf, where she was just like every day, 2,000 words, like every day. She was working on 2 projects at a time. She was kicking ass, and it was very consistent. I am not a creature of consistency, and I am really want to try to be a creature of consistency. But it is like one of those, like, look at what your friends are doing, or look what other authors are doing, or look what other people are doing towards their goals, and take from them what works for you or what could work for you. Don't take from them, I should explode my brain for 6 weeks and come out with whatever. Like take those little bits of inspiration, but not guilt or pressure or blame.
Yeah. And try things, right? Experiment, especially when you're new, the first time I finished a trilogy, it took me, it was over a number of years, right? I had moved twice in that time period. Was it twice? Once?
Was it Psyche of War? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was only once. From Maryland to Japan, but yeah,
it's international though. It's fine.
Yeah, and it was like 2 years between each book, right? And then finishing this trilogy, I finished The Queen's Fixer, and then we had to kind of wait a year on Chris's schedule, and then for me to like get out of the Air Force until it was time. And then Chris and I wrote book 2 and 3 pretty much back to back. It was very quick, and the feeling of finishing the trilogy was very different the second time around. And so I think this is all to your point of like, there's a leveling up process that happens, right? It's going to feel different every time. So what worked for you when you were, doing your first book or doing your first series or, whatever, that may not be the same as what's working for you as you advance in your career. Just understand that your career is a living thing, and it's gonna grow and change and adapt with you to, whatever situation you're in. I had another thought. Give me a minute. I'll come back.
Listen, you just finished a trilogy. I mean, a 4-book trilogy, but that's how we do.
Trilogy, no big deal.
Quadrilogy, yeah.
So, and this was another thing that I planned, because like I've worked with those characters for so long that Kaylee is like, she is one of the strongest voices in my head. And I swear we're not crazy, but maybe we belong in padded rooms sometimes. But like, I knew that I was not going to be able to go from Kaylee's voice to an entirely different voice like that. Like our brains are really weird and really awesome, but you gotta give yourself that space to put the characters back and get the new characters.
Yeah, change gears.
Yeah, you got to change gears.
Yeah.
And just because something works for one project doesn't mean that it's going to work for the next. Right?
So real.
And like, there's times like I found, like Marisa said, I did So last winter, I did 2 projects at once. One was third person. Like it was a third person project that I was co-writing with Kacey Moores, who, by the way, if you haven't read his stuff, military sci-fi, he's freaking amazing.
Yeah, he's
Definitely
fantastic
for him. So I was co-writing with him, and then I was able to do a second project because it was first person, and it allowed me to keep those voices very separate because first person is very much in that character's head.
Yeah.
This time I was switching from Kaylee's first person POV to another character's first person. I'm like, I need time.
Yeah.
Time. And that's okay. It's okay to give yourself that break. And again, like Marisa said, like, yes, take things from other authors, like techniques and tips and tricks of the trade, but don't compare.
That.
Because the only person you're competing against is yourself.
Not me, yourself.
You want every project that you do to be better than the last. I'm not competing against Marisa.
No. Because I pointed like at yourself and I was like, not me. That'd be really sad.
Everybody get Marisa.
We're all competing against Marisa.
No, yourself. Yeah, sorry. Keep being smart. You're doing great.
It's not a competition. Like that drives me insane. Like, do not compare yourself to somebody who's been doing it, so to speak, longer than you have.
What do you think of your thing, Kacey?
Yes, I did. But I want to pile on that one real quick.
Me too.
That's also what he said. That impulse to compare, by the way, is not, how do I say this? Don't feel bad about the impulse to compare. We all get it. Right? We all get it. When Katie Cross first told me her daily word count, I was like, ugh. And then it legit took like a solid conversation with Marisa in the bar at MarsCon. I don't know if you remember this, but it was Marisa and another author. And we were sitting there and we were just like, what the fuck? Like, how can you do that? And it took this whole conversation. And I don't have permission, but I really want to. Well, okay. So this other author is his day job. And if you can figure it out, bully for you, but his day job is he's a family care physician. Right. And so we're having this conversation about it. And he was just like, I cannot believe like those kind of numbers that she puts up, that production pace is just crazy. He's like, I would love to do, and he's a prolific author, but he's like, I would love to do something like that. But then I remember I'm a fucking doctor. Right. He's like, I would have to quit my job that I went to school for over a decade to do. And abandon my patients whom, I genuinely care about. Like, he's like, there's no way. That's not my life. And that right there is the key, right? Like, all of our lives are individual. So don't beat yourself up if you feel that first impulse of shit. I want to write a book in 5 weeks. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, of course we all do. But don't you can't fall into the trap of expecting that out of yourself and beating yourself up if you fall short. Right. Yes. It can be something that you aspire to. It can be something that you attempt to do. It can be something that you do very successfully, but don't let it be a whip that you use to
flail yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
absolutely.
Yeah. Flog yourself.
Flog yourself. Yes.
That's very briefly. Don't forget your other thing. I want to come back to it.
Yeah.
But that's like, it's the season of your life too, right? Like I couldn't have done this 4 years ago when I had a 70-hour-a-week job. I couldn't have. I know there are people who can. I'm not that person. Like I absolutely 100% could not have done this. I currently get to live this incredible life for a few years where I am focused on this. This is I don't have small children. I don't have any children. I have a very demanding dog, but those aren't the same. And I have, contract work, but like my main focus right now is writing. I was talking to a dear friend of mine who is an author who I have been telling for literal years because she had 2 children. They were pretty small. She's like, I just can't do it. And I was like, you can, but it's not your priority right now. Like you are keeping human children alive and managing an entire household with some pretty demanding needs. Like you can't. And it was finally, and I also don't have permission, so I will not share her name. But she recently was like, I was listening to this podcast, and this one was saying how like when I had kids that were small, you know, and then as they got bigger, and she's like, and I realized that's what you've been telling me for 2 years. Like it's not that I can't do it. It's just that's not where my time is going right now. My time is
not
going
her season of
here.
life. Yeah.
It's not that season. Right. Yeah. And I was like, that's fine. You don't listen to your friends. You just listen to strangers on the internet. So let me be your stranger on the internet, friends. Like if your season of life is not allowing you to do that right now, beating yourself up isn't going to change it. Like enjoy the things that you are focused on.
It'll turn writing into something not fun. And I will die on this fucking hill. Writing is the coolest, most fun thing ever. And it will stay that way, or I will light shit on fire.
Goblin mode. All right, Kacey, we keep avoiding your
No, that's okay. That's okay. What I wanted to say was that okay, so great. You know, we get it, right? Like, okay, don't beat yourself up. You can only surge mode for so long. But one of the things that I currently have been struggling with, here's all my problems, internet. Please to
trauma
enjoy.
For you.
I mean, trauma's a little dramatic, but here's all my issues. Enjoy. But one of the things that I am, that I'm currently struggling with is I have this like deep-seated fear in the back of my head that like, okay, I surged and it was great, and I made things happen. I wrote 2 books between Dragon Con and the end of the year. Fantastic. However, if I stop, will I ever be able to do it again?
Oh, that's real.
And that's real. Okay, so here's what I'm trying. Here's, I don't have all the answers. I'm not in that season of life where I know everything. But here's what I'm trying, right? Here's what I'm working with is I know that right now I am not, I can't put up 5,000 words a day, right? I would love to be able to do 5,000 words a day and, and get ahead of my, backlog schedule and finish the sequel to my fantasy novel in a month. I would love to be able to do that. It's not going to happen. I'm not capable of it right now. So I'm going for, again, early 2024 Marisa Wolf. I'm trying for consistency. I'm not there yet, though. I'm not, right? Like today I got about 600 words. I'm going to try and work a little bit after we finish recording this to try and finish that chapter that I was working on. I am focusing on doing what I can do and being grateful for what I have gotten. And if that pushes my timeline, because I sit down at the end of every year and I try to like sort of map out like, okay, when am I working on these things? And I very, very deliberately, that is a beautiful planner, Marisa. Somebody who loves you very much must have given that to you. That's true. But I do, right? Like that's a thing I do. I do it in Notion. I have a whole video on my channel about it. It's a plan, right? No plan survives first contact with the enemy. Ooh. It's just something to deviate from.
The enemy is my brain.
Or circumstance or time or fucking chaos of life or, my beloved children whom I love so much, but they have an impact on my writing schedule.
Right. Exasperated husbands who occasionally like us to pay attention to them,
Right. Yeah. Especially on Thursdays, that's just the way that it is.
Which we're recording this on. So here we
know.
Right. And we've all been reminded.
We are ahead of schedule in cases,
right?
So, but yes, so it's a plan to deviate from, and if I have to flex, I have to flex, and that's fine because I know how to do that, right? But what I don't want to do is, number one, I don't want to stagnate and get completely out of the habit of writing or working creatively. If I do take a rest day, I want to be intentional about it and say, okay, today is a rest day and I want to engage in whatever form of creative rest is working for me right now, whether that's, just reading or playing video games or, doing nothing, going on a trip, going on a day trip with my kiddo and going over and sitting on Marisa's couch, any of those things. So I want to be intentional about my rest. I want to not be mean to myself and not be like, oh, where, you know, I don't want to beat myself up.
Yes.
Because again, I'm trying to preserve the creativity. I'm trying to preserve that feeling of writing is fun. I'm trying to immerse back in the story, which can sometimes be harder depending on where you are in a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I'm starting a new novel, I think is also complicating matters.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I also want to acknowledge, I mean, we're joking like winter goblin mode hoodies. It is cold in my office. But like it's winter, you guys. I don't know if you know, but like the days they're getting longer, but they're still real short. It is still dark here before 5.
Mm-hmm.
All I want to do is nest on my couch with my 5 different blankets and my dog and my husband and a hot beverage and a book or some mindless TV. Like the action of action is fighting so hard against the inertia of winter. And I took that into some account, like to Kacey's point, I tried to be intentional about that in this gorgeous planner that my awesome friend Kacey got for me. But like I tried real hard to think about like, okay, what's happening in these months differently? Like January and February are hard months for me. Just in general, they are dark. The weather's not great. I don't want to be out in the world, except for cool things like Boscone, which I will go to. We talk about that at the end. But like you've got to acknowledge that, right? And then like in the summer or the fall when it's frickin' gorgeous in New England, I don't know that I'm going to want to write 5,000 words. I want to go outside. I want to see the things and do the stuff. But so to plan out, like I can't do that every day either, because this is currently, it is my privilege that this is my priority, but it's my priority, which means I have to do it. So like trying to balance those, like Kacey was saying, be gentle, right, with yourself and figure out like, okay, in these times, I can give myself this much grace. I can't give myself all the grace, but I can give myself this much and be in my literal currently right now in blankets, in my blanket nest, and give myself time to get back to like that badass I know I can be again.
Right.
Yeah.
And to Kacey's point, like, oh man, do I know that fear? Because you get into that groove where you're writing and you're like, oh, this is awesome. I'm doing the things. And then you give yourself that grace and you stop. And the corner of your mind is like, but what if I can't do it again?
Do that anymore.
Like, how do words work? I don't remember how the words work. Like, so there's always that fear. And then like, I'm very much like, my day job is as an accountant. Like I do very like problem solving, logical oriented things for like a living. And sometimes that part of my brain will be above my creative brain and it'll look at what I wrote and flat out panic. How did I do that? It will just go like, I don't know how I did that. I wrote that. That's awesome. But how?
Yeah.
Brains are weird. Brains are super weird. And I guarantee you that everybody occasionally feels that way of like that fear of what if I can't do it again? You know, whether we're talking Sir jobs or just, I just wrote a novel. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
you.
Yeah.
And that's a good point, right? Like, you know, it's kind of similar to working out in a sense, right? Like, you know, if you get into a good exercise regimen and then like you're solid and you're doing great, and then like, you know, you get sick, you get the flu, or heaven forbid you injure yourself, and it's like getting back into it can be super, super intimidating, and you have to go slow, and you have to go with intention, and you have to like take care of yourself along the way, you know?
Yeah.
So,
like, you know,
this hood is driving me crazy.
You don't have to. You can be your own goblin.
No. Oh no, I'm committed. It's a thing.
Okay, we're in it. We're in it.
We're in it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna fuck with it the entire video.
I love it. That's who we are as people. It's either my hair or the hood. So what are we gonna do? It's the rings. They have changed fingers like 45 times. That could be a fun scavenger hunt. Like which finger? No, never mind. We're not playing which finger. Like with working out. While I ruined my co-host. Good God. So like to the constant struggle of it, right? Like 10 years ago, I was working out 2 or 3 times a day. I got my black belt. I was in good shape. Like I could do the 300 push-ups I had to do in the course of a practice for like, I could do those things. Yesterday, I did 3 sets of 10 push-ups on my knees. And I wanted to cry. Like today I told Melissa, like, I'm not doing them today because everything hurts. So I will do them every other day until I'm less sad. And that's not the first time in 10 years I've tried to get back into shape. Right. So it's like, it's this constant,
Yeah.
You try to find that balance. You have to give yourself the grace to not get injured, because sometimes it's because I got injured. Sometimes I ruined my toe. Sometimes, everything. And sometimes it was just excuses. And so it really is like, how bad do you want it? And how do you take care of yourself while you get what you want? Yeah.
Balance
Yeah.
is so key.
That's
And it's hard, but you know what makes it super easier, or at least somewhat easier, is the power of friendship.
So good,
Right?
Melissa.
All this business. Yeah.
Like it's just, it is amazing how much more fun things are when you have people that you can talk things out with, even if it's a solo project. Just being able to bounce ideas off of your friends is super motivating. So, find the people that you resonate with. Find somebody that's also doing something that's batshit fucking crazy, like writing a whole ass novel in 5 weeks. And
Oh, can I tell that story real quick?
Yes, you can.
So I just told Melissa this for the first time yesterday. So I was so sad, genuinely, when Kacey and I finished our book. I was so excited about the book. I hope you guys love it. We can talk about it at the end. But I was so sad to have to go back into just my head and not have it be my head and Casey's head, because my head and Casey's head is way more fun. Like it's so much fun. And I was like, I have to do things with just one brain, and this is very sad. And then, the events to maybe be named later happened, and my deadline changed. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And Kacey and Melissa instantly were like, yeah, you fucking can. Like, who the hell do you think you are? You're Marisa Wolf. You're going to fucking do this. And I was like, okay, I will. And then I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I will. Rage. Let's go. And then I was talking to Melissa on Discord one night. And she was like, I had this deadline for Salvage Bunny, but I think I can make it this deadline. And I didn't even have to say, do you want to form an alliance with me? Melissa instantly was like, you want to fucking do this? And I was like, the thing I just told her for the first time yesterday was like the warmth and joy that exploded in my heart, where I just instantly went from, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, to fuck yes. Like, we are going to do this. And the nights we were on our little video chat, and like Kacey would come in and be like, okay, I wrote my 2,500 words. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to stay till I write 3. Like, let's go. And I'd be like, all right, I'm going for 5. Or I would be going for like 3,500, and then I would get 4,600. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. Let's do 5. And Melissa's like, I just wrote 35 epic battles. Like, let's go. Like, we just, that energy was so key. There's no world in which I would have done it, especially after coming off the high of writing a book with Kacey. I never would have been able to do it without these bitches in my corner, knowing that we were all equally insane for various reasons. We're committed. Like, fun lunacy.
Fun lunacy. That's what our Goblin hoodies need to say. Fun lunacy. Just that's it. No further context.
Somebody make us a little goblin and then a little fun lunacy, and we'll
someone get Joy Laundry on the line. Let's make this
amazing.
I love it. No, you're right. That synergy is real, and we've talked about it on the channel before, or in this series before, but there is no substitute for finding your network, right? Finding your supporters, building your team, and and making sure that they're the ones who are gonna, because they're the ones who are gonna stick around, man. They're the ones who are gonna stick by you and celebrate your wins, and be your crying shoulder when you feel like everything you write sucks and nobody's going to read your book, and I may have had an episode like that last night where I was like, girls, I hate everything, and they're like, oh, okay, you're gonna be fine.
You're great.
That's so real, though. That is so real. Like, please read my hot mess and tell me this doesn't suck. And to know that, one, they're going to be gentle, right? They're not going to like go, wow, are you on crack? This is fucking terrible. They're going to be like, no, this is great. Here's maybe a few things that you want to tighten up, or this giant plot hole that you left in there. Like, just, but having those friends that you trust with your hot garbage, knowing they're not going to rip your heart out and stomp on it. That's so key.
Or just abandon you, really. That's the big one for me, right? Like, because I can take harsh criticism, right? You know, when especially from my friends, right? When I send something, and perfect example, right? When I first sent the draft of Mage Light to Nick Steverson, who you guys know, he's an honorary feral lady. I sent it to him, and I specifically was like, hey man, I need you to read the dudes and make sure they read like dudes and not like some chick's fantasy of what a dude is like. And so he had marching orders, so he read it and he gave me feedback, and there were times when he was like, I don't like the way this doesn't work, like this is dumb. You know, and it wasn't, Nick doesn't sugarcoat shit, you know. But so like, you know, there were times like when I first read it, I was like, fuck you, Nick, you know, but then because that's always the visceral reaction when someone's like, this doesn't work. Right. But then then I read it again and I was like, oh no, you're actually, that is a solid point. I do need to address that. Right. And so I did, and I was grateful for that. But one thing that I know that Nick won't do is just be like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
You know, or like just ghost and disappear and never come back with the, never come back with the feedback, or, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel that investment. I feel that he is also invested in my success because he cares about me as a person, just as I am invested in his success because I care about him as a person and as an artist and a writer, you know? So yeah, those are the kinds of people you need to find. The ones who are not going to abandon you and your work, who are going to give you the feedback, whether it's your supportive cheerleader feedback or you're like, I love you, but this sucks feedback. Like, you need both, right? You need both.
Either get both or get you a friend who can do both. Because there were the times, because I was sending Melissa and Kacey this book every night. I was like, here's 5K more. Here's 2K more. Don't read the other 3K because they're just trash. And there were times that I was like, this is a shit show, but please tell me if there's like a thread in here that I can use. And then there are times that I was like, I think this is good. So if it's not, you have to tell me because I cannot, do not let me live in the denial of like, this section works. And like, to be able to have friends who can like coddle you when you need a little bit of coddling, but then also like look at that document before you turn it in and say like, no, you're right. It needs this extra thing. Like, I know you thought you were done 7 times, but this is missing and you got to do it. That is important.
Well, it's also really, really key for when you tell your friend like, hey, Melissa, take off your cheerleader hat and put on your badass writer hat and tell me the things, right?
Yeah.
So like being vocal about like, hey, this is the kind of feedback I need right now. Or I'm feeling really fragile. Could you just tell me that I don't suck?
I'm pretty. Tell me this will fix in edits.
Rub my hair and tell me I'm pretty.
And it's just recognizing like what you need in that. And you might not realize what you need, but your friends probably do. Like, okay.
Yeah. Usually the closer I get to deadline, the more I need you to just be like, just tell me the shit. Tell me it. Because I swear to God, if I get to the deadline and the whole thing is a shit show, I'm going to burn the world down. Like, I'm full Goblin Mode.
I'll bring the matches. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Be careful.
I'm going to cry and set shit on fire at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, if I get real mad, it'll be like, I am crying and burning. Like, there's no... I might even wear a frilly dress while I do it. I don't know.
I'll just show up with a shovel. Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I can bring the shovel. I can bring the cookies. I can do both.
Yeah.
That's
when you see angry tears, that's when it's time to fucking run.
Or just get on board, man.
Or get in line, bro. Let's do this.
There have been a couple of memes that we have sent each other, or reels or whatever, that are like, there's always the one friend that like keeps you out of jail, the one friend who's definitely bringing you to jail, and the one friend who like code switches. And the 3 of us are the code switchers. You need to go burn shit down. Melissa's got your back. You need to blow shit up. Casey's front of the line. You need to figure out how to not go to jail. I'm here to help. But like, we will switch that stuff. Like,
yeah.
but what we are
Yeah.
is ride or die. So there you go.
Ride or die. That's
Ride or
right.
die.
That's right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, we are somehow close to time. So why don't we talk about books that are coming out and conventions where you can see us the first half of this year? Because friends, we are coming back. We're going to be doing these Feral Ladies a little more often, so we don't need to tell you our whole year because you're going to see us again, maybe with hoods. We'll see.
Depending on how cold it is.
Yeah, currently very hood.
Very
Good.
Are we
So
hood
weather.
now?
Well, I'm doing weather forecast. I'm not doing like cool. So like from a case of like tank top to hood, we're in
Very
the hood side
Yeah.
of the
Yeah. Got it.
very white guys. This is who I am.
So white.
This kind of
So
hood.
white.
I know who I
I
am.
went first last time. I don't have to do it again.
Okay.
Okay, so I just finished up Salvage Bunny 4, which is
Yay!
Daughter Shippo. So that's with the Steversons, the amazing Kevin Steverson who created the Salvage title universe, and he needs to give the thumbs up, which he totally will. I'm sure it'll be fine. And Nick Steverson, he was very kind and let me borrow some of his characters, which is one of my favorite things of the shared universe. So he's got to give the thumbs up to that too. And then it'll go to our awesome publisher, Chris Kennedy, and we'll see where it ends up on the schedule. I've got a number of short stories like Marisa that I'm working on, and I have a really big release coming out in June from a different publisher, which we will reveal those secrets MarsCon next week.
Yeah, you will.
Because you'll be there.
Because I'll be there with Kacey. We're going to have so much fun. So MarsCon, Virginia Beach, 16th through the 18th, somewhere in there. And then February, all the fingers crossed, I should be hopefully at BosCon. Unplanned. This was not the plan, but now it's the plan with these two lovely bitches. So, and then do we want to go through March? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, I would say through the first half of the year, through June.
Yeah. Okay. So March, I have, God, I'm so busy. I have Mid-South Con here in Memphis. So Chris Kennedy is like special guest of honor. So you have a number of CKP and Dane authors. Like Les Johnson is like the science guest of honor. Super excited. I hope he's ready for my son.
Yeah, both those guys are awesome. Yeah.
April, Marisa and I will be at JordanCon in Atlanta.
Okay.
May, I'm just not doing any cons. I'm just gonna come hang out with these two in like Massachusetts. We're gonna go to all the bakeries. It's gonna be great.
I can't wait.
LibertyCon in June. I have something every month. My husband is gonna kill me.
He's so great. So great.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing.
Fine.
Yeah.
Are we just talking about cons? Or are we talking about releases too?
Books and cons from now through June. Yeah.
Tomorrow, but although this won't come out tomorrow, so this is in the past. It is already out by the time you were seeing this.
That's
Blood
right.
for Father.
Yeah.
Jeremy, insert picture now. But
I'm just writing the times for him. I'm being helpful.
Yeah.
I'm being a good wife.
5310.
Yeah. I'm like, it's fine. There we go.
But yes, Blood for Father by myself and Marisa Wolf. It'll be the next novel, fourth novel, fifth book in the Ashes of Anticia shared world space opera sandbox universe. This one,
you can start there. You don't have
yes,
to. You
it
should
is,
read them all, but you don't have to first.
It is a solid starting point because it is a sandbox. So you will. There are references to some of the characters from the first trilogy, but it is not necessary to read the first trilogy first, although you definitely should because I love it and it's really good and I'm very proud of it.
Yes.
But yes, go get Blood of Her Father. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite things I've ever written. And in addition to that, if you want to read something by me totally for free, you can do that on Royal Road. I will have Jeremy put a link in the description, but yes, my serial Shadow Card Guardian is ongoing on Royal Road right now. You can go there and you can read chapters for free. And if you get to the end and you're like, but why are there no more words? The truth is there are, and you can read them if you go to my website and sign up for one of my paid tiers. You can get early access to my Shadow Card Guardian chapters that way. So those two are out right now. I have a fantasy novel coming out in May, and I will also reveal more details about that from at MarsCon, which I will be at next week in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So I'm around the 20th. So if you're going to be at MarsCon, come say hi, and we'll talk. And then in February, I will be at BosCon in Boston, Massachusetts, with these two lovely bitches over here, as Melissa said. Also with Trisha Woldridge will be there, so that'll be really fun. We're gonna have a ball. It's gonna be amazing. And
she had an episode of Feral Ladies. If you haven't watched it, you can go catch up on it.
Yeah. So definitely, if you're in New England and feel like coming to Boston for a weekend, come hang out, see the show. And then in March, it's not a convention, but I am going to a writer conference. I'm going to go to the Writer MBA conference down in New Orleans, Louisiana, and do a little bit of, professional development there. So that should be fun. I'll let you guys know how that goes. And then nothing in April. And in May, I am going to go watch my oldest daughter graduate from college and commission her into the United States Air Force as a second lieutenant. So, and then I'm going to hang out. When I get back, I get to hang out with Melissa, who's coming up to Boston. So May's going to be a good month. Yeah. And then LibertyCon in June. So that's my first half of the year.
Yeah. You can hear all about my first half of the year from these two ladies because they've already covered it. That's it. I'm hanging out with them. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to college graduations. I'm going to cons. And I will always be found with one of them. You're welcome. I don't watch that at all. If they're there, 50% chance that you're getting me too.
Joined at the hip.
That's how we do. So this year, as of right now, my only confirmed release is Blood of Her Father, which, as Kacey said, is already out. And it's really, y'all, if you ever wanted the story of the young queen and her wicked stepmother, when those roles aren't maybe exactly that, you want Blood of Her Father, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So go to enjoy. And there may be more releases. Who knows? This is a big behind the scenes year for me. I have 7 projects. Short. I think it's more. I don't know. I have like 4 novels in on the docket and several short stories and very exciting projects. And one might come out later in the year. But I think basically it's Marisa's building year. So I'm gonna write a lot of shit, and then in 2026 you can celebrate the heck out of me.
You write a lot of awesome shit. It's not shit.
It's just
shit.
Yeah. Yes, this is the year of collaborations and secret projects and amazingness. I'm very excited. And there may be something that comes out later this year, but it'll be the second half of the year. So that's for a later Feral Ladies. But basically, you should come hang out with us in our various excursions across the country. And if not, you should keep hanging out with us here on Feral Ladies because we're going to do more things. We're going to start bouncing these around on channels. So sometimes they'll be on my YouTube channel, which is a very baby channel. Come join us. They'll be on Kacey's channel, CKP. Who knows? Who knows where we'll be? We'll tell you. That's how you'll know. Wherever you're watching this right now, go ahead and click the like, click the subscribe if you haven't already, and then you'll always know where we are. And check us out on the Facebooks as long as that exists. We all have websites that will be linked here. Find us on the internet streets. We'll tell you how to keep finding us. And go enjoy your Goblin Mode for winter. Yeah. Now it's Sith mode, I think. But, stay warm, have fun, reasonable goals, take care of yourself. You got this. We love you. Go be feral. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay,
Okay, bye.